with innovation, sustainability, and efficiency. The third annual Industry Insights IoT Awards will recognize IoT and technology businesses and ecosystem professionals for their success in 2022, with 10 award categories across a wide range of connected solutions. The categories for this year's program include IoT Product of the Year, Best IoT Security Solution, Best Blockchain Solution, Best Edge IoT Application, Best Sustainable Solution, Greenest IoT Solution, Digital Transformation Innovator of the Year, Smart Manufacturing Executive of the Year, Thought Leader of the Year, and IoT Executive of the Year. Join us for the live event on Thursday, December 15th, 2022, hosted by Steve Brummer and Tiffani Neilson, to learn more about the latest trends surrounding each topic and a showcase of the winners and nominees for each category. Register now to attend and be sure to nominate your favorite leader, business, or product.
Your data, video, and voice is on the move, across networks, in between data centers, to the last mile, curb, or cabinet, on premises to the cloud and back again. But is it secure? For data in motion, high-assurance network encryption offers powerful safeguards to the challenges of a rapidly transforming threatscape. SafeNet high-speed encryptors are scalable, interoperable, easy to use, cost-effective, and provide maximum security without compromising performance. And they are the first encryptors to offer transport-independent mode, which means the best-performing encryption, regardless of the network layer. SafeNet high-speed encryptors deliver certified network encryption capabilities, providing uncompromising security with maximum throughput and minimal latency. Future-proof and crypto-agile, they support custom curves, bring your own entropy, and built-in quantum random number generation. The SafeNet Virtual Encryptor, a hardened virtualized network function, provides network encryption to ensure all data in motion is secure. It addresses customer requirements for reducing their hardware footprint, and it's integrated with SafeNet Key Secure for enhanced key lifecycle management. When your customers, partners, and employees demand security in an ever-changing environment, ensure that your data in motion is secure with SafeNet high-speed encryptors.
Hello and welcome to Mind2Mind. I'm Tiffani Neilson, and with me is my co-host, Dr. Joe Perez. How are you doing today, Dr. Joe?
Hello, Tiffany. I'm doing great. How about yourself?
Fantastic.
Cool.
And thank you all for joining us for our Thanksgiving special. And we will be talking about an attitude for gratitude. And before we dive into this topic, Dr. Joe, are there any exciting updates that you have to share with us?
Well, I just got back from a trip to Lithuania. I spoke at the Build Stuff conference this year and enjoyed myself thoroughly. I was kind of expecting to see a broken down, run down, dingy Soviet bloc state, but No, man. I mean, they are just, it's just a beautiful country, wonderful people, terrific food. It was kind of cold and rainy, but after all, hey, it's November. It's supposed to be cold and rainy at that latitude, at that time of year. But no, there was plenty of sunshine from the people. Enjoyed myself thoroughly in Vilnius, Lithuania. Even picked up a few phrases, how to talk in Lithuanian. You want to say thank you say achu. It sounds like you're sneezing. You say good morning. It's labas ritas. So it's a beautiful language. Wonderful, wonderful, amazing time that I had. My only regret, my wife couldn't be with me, but it was still a terrific time. How about you, Tiffany? What you got going? You've got a lot going on too. I understand.
I do, Dr. Joe, but you are quite the world traveler these days. I mean, wow, I am just so impressed. You've been all
You're
over the
very
world.
kind.
And for us, we just finished up with our Summit of Things event, and we kind of did that as two different parts. We had a whole hybrid event with it. It went great. And we're gearing up for our third annual Industry Insights IoT Awards, which I know you're very familiar with, considering you did win Thought Leader of the
Mhm.
Year last year. So definitely excited to see that come up again. But back to the topic at hand. Dr. Joe, what is gratitude to you?
Gratitude to me. Well, you can look that up in the dictionary, right? And if you do, you're going to find probably the same thing, okay? The quality of being thankful and a readiness to show appreciation and return kindness. Um, but I kind of think that it goes deeper than that. I mean, yes, of course, those three elements need to be part of any attitude of gratitude, as we're calling it today. That is being thankful, right? Being ready to show that appreciation, and also being willing to return kindness to others. Now, what I think the big differentiator would be is connecting those 3 points together and I don't know, making them into a way of life, not just a ritual, right? Making it something that we do not out of necessity, but because it's something that we want to do because we love doing it. Okay, it becomes a natural outflow from a heart that's just about to burst with appreciation and warmth that I don't know. You just can't wait to share it with others. Now, I don't know. To some people, that might sound a little cheesy or maybe a little too much Pollyanna or whatever. But you know what? I don't care. I think we can use a little more Pollyanna. I mean, what do you think, Tiffany?
Well, I loved what you said, Dr. Joe. So many great points there. But I also feel that gratitude can be an expression, but it can also be an emotion. So there's,
Yeah.
as you were saying, the state of being grateful, the state of gratitude, where that's kind of the emotion. It can even just be an automatic state of being, your immediate disposition of life, that it's just an emotion, it's the feeling. But it can also be an expression where it's almost like an act of kindness, but in response to something that someone's done nice for you. And so ultimately, I think that it's just acknowledging either the kindness from someone else or the many blessings from God, because you can be grateful without having a single person involved in whatever's making you feel grateful. But it can also be from an act of, that's done by someone else. So I think it can be both. But Dr. Joan, what are some of the benefits of having an attitude of gratitude?
Well, American author Amy Collette once said, gratitude is a powerful catalyst for happiness. It's the spark that lights a fire of joy in your soul. I love that. Um, I think that statement kind of hits the nail on the head, Tiffany. Um, in a 2017 study of several hundred elderly adults who had been diagnosed with asymptomatic heart failure, it was found that in the 8-week period of time under study, in which the participants were asked to practice gratitude journaling, they called it, along with other intentional acts of kindness and gratitude, there was a significant reduction of symptoms of anxiety and depression, along with lowering the immune response to potential bodily threats. Okay, medical research in other areas has repeatedly shown that expressing gratitude can reduce stress, increase optimism, provide greater resiliency, and improve the flow of certain neurotransmitters, that help reduce fatigue and enhance the quality of your sleep even. Hey, even without all that medical research, it just makes more common horse sense to me that if I'm more grateful for what I have, I'll be less resentful for what I don't have. And then I'll be more apt to settle down and go to sleep when I actually do get to go to bed. You know, one less bit of anxiety to deal with, right? It's no wonder that parents try to teach their kids to say those magic words, please and thank you at an early age, right? They want to cultivate an attitude of gratefulness at home that leads to greater stability, appreciation for what you have. I can't stress that enough. We'll say that about a million times. A more profound commitment in life that's going to help people to avoid the pitfalls of greed and resentment. Kids growing up in that type of environment will probably more be more likely to have a higher level of satisfaction, say when they grow up with their jobs. And that in turn can lead to better performance on the job. Okay, I realize I'm sort of kind of painting with a pretty broad brush here, Tiffany, okay? But it kind of makes sense again to me that if a person is brought up to be grateful for what they have, and it's going to become ingrained into their thinking patterns, their psyche, their biases, their character, I don't know, the very fiber of their being. Well, if they're going to be better equipped to deal with adversity in their life, well then they're going to have a brighter outlook on life, and maybe, just maybe, they'll be able to make a more positive contribution to society. How do you see it, Tiffany?
Well, I loved what you said there, Dr. Joe. But some of the benefits that I see for being in a state of gratitude is that you're going to be overall more happy and you're going to feel better.
Yeah,
You're going to be healthier because it's really where your focus is. So if you're focused on being grateful and on gratitude, then that you're going to be not worried about anything that's causing you stress or making you not feel good. So I definitely think that focusing on what you're grateful for is just going to help your life in so many ways that it's just a countless number. But there's
yes.
an interesting article that I was reading from Psychology Today that outlined 7 different benefits to being grateful and living with gratitude. And so some of those things are that it can open the door for more relationships. It can also strengthen the relationships that you do have. Another one is that it can increase and improve your physical health. It can also improve your mental health. And it can also enhance your empathy and it can reduce aggression. It can help you sleep better. It can improve your self esteem and it can increase your mental strength. So, those are just a few of
Wow.
the benefits that I'm seeing. And also, I liked what you said about reducing stress because that's always so important, Dr. Joe. But why
Absolutely.
do you feel gratitude is so important, Dr. Joe?
Yeah. And again, thank you, Tiffany. You hit the nail on the head when you talked about focus. So, um, that's a great question. Okay. uh, how do I put this? Having this attitude of gratitude, I like the way we're putting it here. It's going to keep me focused on the needs of others rather than on myself. Okay. We've already established that gratitude and resentment are opposites to each other, right? So the more grateful I am for what I have, the less resentful that I'm going to be of the things that others have, right? The less covetous that I'm going to be of their things. I'll be more prone to not be so concerned about things, but rather look for ways to help meet the needs of others. I'm going to be more willing to give of my time, my talent, my treasure to that end. I'm going to be more generous with those 3 T's. Okay. And I believe that gratitude is going to lead to generosity. And you know what, Tiffany? We could all use a whole lot more generosity in life. When you share that attitude with others, well, it's going to tend to build a sense of community. It's infectious, like like a smile, like laughter, and that improves not only your own well-being, but also that of others around you. I'm sure our audience has heard the old saying, rising water lifts all boats, right? You know what? That's important to me, Tiffany, because see, as a Christian, I see a huge part of my mission in life is to help others to lift their spirits, to ease their burdens, to be an encouragement, to share God's love with them. And part of that involves setting the right kind of example myself. Now, if I'm some bitter, resentful, scowling ingrate, a jerk, okay, that's not going to give too good of an impression, is it, of what a man of faith is supposed to look like? And besides that, as a Christian, I'm commanded to be thankful. See, part of a very famous psalm, Psalm 100, often quoted at Thanksgiving, and I hope I can remember it here. It says, "Serve the Lord with gladness, come before his presence with singing, enter into his gates with thanksgiving, and into his courts with praise. Be thankful unto him, and bless his name." And why do we do that? Well, the next verse gives the reason. It says, "For the Lord is good, his mercy is everlasting, and his truth endureth to all generations." Wow. That's plenty of reason for me to be thankful. No wonder that's quoted at Thanksgiving. That makes it essential for me to be thankful and, well, to enjoy being thankful. How about you, Tiffany?
Well, Dr. Joan, gratitude is important to me because the more that I appreciate the things around me, the more I realize how wealthy we are, even without material possessions, but just with
Yeah,
the people around you, with the experiences that we've had, with everything that makes us who we are. So I think that at the core, that's part of it. But I also feel that when sometimes things work out and that's extra reason to be grateful, and sometimes they don't, and you still have to be grateful, because if you look at something and it doesn't go quite right and you can be grateful for the things that did go right, then you're going to have a much more positive impact on your life, the people around you, and a positive outlook as a result. So I think that being healthy in the mind and having a positive outlook, gratitude is such a key component that it just has to be there. And really, Dr. Joe, I just feel that giving and receiving, they should be in sync, because you can't give until your glass is half empty, because you always want to keep your glass half full. But, you
right.
want to keep that in balance, because if your glass is full, then give to others. And if your glass is empty, maybe it's you have to ask for a helping hand or whatever it might be, but show gratitude and you'll lift both your glasses even fuller. And I know that's kind of a ridiculous example, but
No,
I'm
no, I
sure.
love it. It's great. It's great.
And so, and we don't always have to expect something in return when we do something nice for someone. And that's really the key to living in gratitude, in my opinion. But Dr. Joe, what are some of
Yes.
the things that you're grateful for?
Oh, good heavens, Tiffany. I could do this all day. Yeah, yeah, it's such a long list. I have so very much to be thankful for. I'll try to narrow it down a little bit. Um, I'm grateful for my phenomenal team and my amazing boss at DHHS where I work. My boss, Victor, hey, he's a quintessential leader. He somehow seems to balance knowing what's going on and not telling you how to do your job at the same time, encouraging you to give your best while pointing you in the right direction when you're not giving your best. I'm grateful for good health, a nice home to live in, clothes to wear, food to eat, the ability to earn a living and provide for my family. I'm thankful for these incredible speaking opportunities that I've had. I mean, they seem to have multiplied like rabbits exponentially over the last few years, way beyond anything I'd ever imagined. I've gotten to visit amazing places and meet people that otherwise I would never have dreamed possible, not being famous at all. Most of all, I'm thankful for my family. My two boys that have grown up into such fine young men of honor and integrity. And well, okay, last but not least, what can I say about my wife? Yeah, She's my best friend, Tiffany. The love of my life, my soulmate, as you've heard me say before. I'm totally lost without this lady. I consider my sweet Diana to be the best gift God ever gave me. I'm grateful for the 38 plus years that we've had together as husband and wife. And, those 38 years have given us the opportunity, both of us, to speak with younger couples and help them see how, well, yeah, hopefully, how a marriage is supposed to work. I'm also thankful for my faith. It's the grounding that sustains me through it all. The gift of eternal life that I have through my Savior, and knowing that He's not ever going to leave me nor forsake me. Again, all by the amazing grace of God. You know, I could go on and on and on with this, but I guess the reason I'm so thankful, to get to your point, I choose to focus on the positive. You talked about focus. Yeah, it's all about focus. I mean, sure, there are negative things in life that I have to face, that you have to face, and life is definitely not an easy road, right? There are troubling, unpleasant, negative, and downright nasty things that come into my life, just like they come into anybody else's. You talked about that a little bit. And the tougher thing for people, and for me as well, is to be thankful for those bad times as well as the good times. That might sound a little bit counterintuitive, maybe even masochistic, but no, I've learned to be thankful for the negative things, the rough patches, the stuff that keeps you up at night that you talked about. It's when you learn to navigate through those obstacles and deal with the negative and do it with dignity and grace. You know what? You learn to appreciate the nicer times even more. And on top of that, you also learn that how you deal with adversity toughens you up to be prepared for what's even worse. And still, it allows you to sympathize with others who are going through a tough time of their own. You know, I I I learn gratitude even during those bad times is equally important as being grateful for the good times. How about you, Tiffany?
Well, like you, Dr. Joe, my list is long. But starting out with my family, I,
Yes.
I feel that family is really the core of my being. And I'm so grateful to have such an amazing and loving and supportive and understanding mother and father and my brother and aunts and uncles. They're all so amazing. And they've definitely stood by me through thick and thin. And even those that are no longer with me, like my grandma Nana, she was such an inspiration. But I'm so grateful for having her in my life for as long as I did and all the lessons that she taught me. And it kind of comes back to what you were saying, Dr. Joe, is the experiences that I've had. I'm very
Mhm.
grateful for all those experiences that have helped to shape me to be who I am. And I'm also thankful for my team at IoT Marketing. I mean, Johannes is fantastic because he gives me the
Yeah.
creative freedom to kind of guide the direction of our different broadcasts and really have a say so in what we do, which I appreciate so greatly. And it's probably also due to my level of gratitude that that's even possible. So you always have to keep that in perspective. But also, Jason, I mean, Dr. Joe, I'm not sure if you
Yes.
noticed in one of our last events, we had a power outage and I was shocked. And I saw the lights go off and I saw them come back on and I saw the lights go off again, come back on again, and it was off. And immediately it came back to me being grateful for all the experiences and preparedness that I'd had along the way, where I thought the generator. And in minutes, Jason was on it and he was putting lots of extension cords in
Wow.
place and making magic happen. So I'm definitely grateful for him and all of his support, and also our whole team at IoT Marketing, but also all of my amazing friends. I mean, I live out here in Las Vegas where my friends are my family. So it's definitely great to have such a great friend circle here, as well as all my friends in Ohio. And of course, I have to mention my amazing pet legend. A little Highlander bobcat just melts my heart even when I think about it.
Oh,
Definitely, I'm so grateful for not only my pet, but all pets. So I'm the kind of person that prays multiple times a day when I wake up at every meal. And I've got most of my friends in the same pattern now, too. So they won't even think about taking a bite until they hear the prayer. So it's definitely
good.
good to live in that kind of a vibration. And when you can lift others up to that vibration, too, it's amazing. So I'm grateful for all of those things. And I'm also grateful for you, Dr. Joe, because you're
Aw.
events and these, thought-provoking conversations really just helped bring balance and happiness to my life. And I'm grateful for everyone that's watching right now and everyone that's watched our programs and the other speakers that have participated in our events. And I'm grateful for all those things and so much more.
That was so kind and sweet of you to say. Thank you. And I am grateful for you too, Tiffany. You're an awesome co-host.
Thank you, Dr. Joe.
Yes, ma'am.
And so, what are some ways that you express gratitude, Dr. Joe?
Yeah, having gratitude and not expressing it is not good, right? You know, um, I think it's important to start off by first identifying the things for which you're the most grateful, right? All the stuff we've talked about in the last few minutes: health, home, being well fed, family, and so forth. Things first, then also maybe situations that you're thankful for, then specific people that you're thankful for. Remind yourself of the different ways that each of these things or people or situations have helped you or have enhanced your life, and then simply write it down like a journal, gratitude journaling. When you do that first, it becomes easier to think of concrete ways to express your gratitude to these people, these things, and so forth. So, one way is, well, simply say it, right? Tell them. People like to hear those words. Like you said, thank you earlier, right? You never know just how much you're going to brighten somebody's day by simply saying, hey, you know what? I want you to know how much I appreciate you. When you helped me at work the other day, when you stayed late to give me a ride home when my car wouldn't start, or when you called to check on me after I took my wife to the doctor's office, that kind of thing. Hey, you know what? That meant the world to me. I really appreciate you taking the time to do that. Be specific. You might say, hey, man, I really appreciate your friendship. It's great to know I've got somebody who's got my back. And you want to know something? I've got your back too, something like that. Another way, write down your feelings of thankfulness to that person, right? Put it into an email, a letter, a card, a greeting card. Oh man, greeting card. Holy cow, some of those Hallmark cards, man, they're real tear jerkers. I'm a silly nut when it comes to that. But take the time to think it through, write it down and send it to that person, right? You're not only doing that other person some good, you're actually doing yourself good as well. You alluded to that earlier, Tiffany. As a matter of fact, to that point, a research study conducted in 2013 found that writing thank you letters can be an effective therapy to deal with post traumatic stress disorders. Another way, take a walk in the park, right? Breathe in your surroundings. Be mindful of what's going around you. Look at the sights, the sounds of nature. Try to notice the little things that you may not pick up on usually, like the flowers, the different colors, the sound of a bird's wings, the smell of the flower, smell of moss, even anything else that catches your attention. Be grateful for those little things. Take notice of those things. Now, the most obvious way to show gratitude, well, to give a thoughtful gift for whom you're grateful, express it tangibly. It doesn't necessarily have to be an expensive thing. It can be anything that's tangible that expresses your thankfulness to them. Something that you took thought in picking out. Something that would be meaningful for them, meaningful for you, meaningful for both. Something they like. Maybe, I don't know, take a meal to someone in appreciation of what they've done or for who they are. If you're a good cook and you cooked it yourself, or if not, maybe ask, in my case, my spouse, my wife, bake a cake, make some cookies, uh, or buy it if you're not, Boston Market or whatever the name of the place is. Buy it, take it to their house, show it to them. Give it to them personally. Show them you went through some trouble to do it, and don't say it was any trouble because it shouldn't be any trouble. But they're going to appreciate it even more knowing that you took the time. And then find some tangible way to help others, right? Do something special for someone who's helped you. Go a step further than that. You're showing your appreciation for them, but when you do that, you're paying it forward, right? And I mean, do something special for somebody else, not because they did something for you, but say just for the heck of it, right? Whether they did anything for you in particular or not, especially that pay it forward principle, the random acts of kindness you mentioned. You're in a fast food line, right? In the drive-through at a fast food restaurant or something. Why not pay for the meal of the person behind you? That's fun. Whether it's a specific act of kindness or a random act of kindness, the idea is that any act of kindness is a great way to show gratitude. I'm sure there's many other ways that I haven't even scratched the surface, Tiffany. But what's your take on this? You're smart.
Thanks, Dr. Joe. Or should I say a chew?
Yeah, but achoo. Amasritas. Yeah.
But you brought up so many great points once again. But I think it all starts with just acknowledging yourself that you're grateful, and that'll kind of add
Yes.
to your state of being, that state of being in gratitude. And then verbalize it. Make sure that you say it out loud, just as you said. You have to actually say it, or communicate it somehow, or else how is someone supposed to know that you're actually grateful? And
Right.
but also do it for yourself, that you want to do that because it means something to you, that you're showing the gratitude. So whether that's saying thank you, that's smiling, giving a gift, as you mentioned. And I loved what you said about writing things down, because I'm such a huge, huge fan of lists. And so one of the things that I always recommend, no matter what situation someone's in, is to really just start with a list and identify the things that you're grateful for. So I really
Ooh.
think that once you do that, and then you figure out, okay, well, what's a way that I can express gratitude to these people and things that I care about. It could be as something as simple. I'm really grateful for my amazing neighbors, by the way. I have the best neighbors ever. So, when it's convenient, when I see their trash cans out, I'll bring them back in if the trash
Yeah.
man's already in there. Just little things like that. I'll go and just leave them a little gift outside of their front door, especially when COVID hit and they weren't able to get out as much. I would just go and leave them a little something out in front
That's
of their
neat.
door, and that's nice enough. But maybe you can't afford to do something where you're buying something for someone. Pick up the phone, give someone that's made a difference in your life a call, and just say, hey, I just
Yes.
want to see how you're doing, because I just want to let you know I really appreciate you and impact that you've made on my life. And that can mean so much to someone. I mean, I've recently heard of several people committing suicide around my friend circle. Not that I knew personally, but that breaks my heart, because what if someone would have just given them a call or just said thank you to them?
Yeah.
Or maybe they understood gratefulness just a little bit more, and they would have been able to express that to others and not focus on what they didn't have or what they did wrong. It can make such an impact in someone's life. And even if at the
Absolutely.
grocery store, I mean, someone's checking me out and I'm just like, okay, well, how's your day going? Because they might look a little stressed, and they just look at me like
Right.
no one's ever asked them that before. But I'm appreciative of their service, that they're doing this service for me by checking out my groceries. So, I mean, why not just say, hey, how are you doing? I really hope you're having a good day. It can be something that's that simple that makes the complete difference in someone's not only day, but their tomorrow, their year, their whole
That's
life.
right.
So just go out of your way to do something nice. And I love cards. I absolutely love that you said that. I send out so many cards. So I totally support that. And also just being a shoulder to cry on. I mean, sometimes people are going through difficult things, and looking at the news and what's happening in the world, sometimes people just need someone to be there for them. And if someone's
Right.
been there for you, say thank you. It would be worth it to, show your appreciation. And I mean, maybe someone that you didn't even know that they made such an impact. So make sure that you say thank you for those things too. But Dr. Joe, all these things are great as expressing our gratitude, but what happens when we're not grateful?
Huh. Yeah. Well, um, as Texas Wesleyan University professor William Arthur Ward put it, feeling gratitude and not expressing it, it's like wrapping a present and not giving it. Yeah, not bad. Well, in the same way that giving to others is the natural outgrowth of gratitude, like we talked about, right? That gratitude leads to generosity that we've already established. I think the opposite is also true, right? A lack of gratitude will lead to stinginess. A failure to focus on gratefulness that's going to lead a person to focus only on their own wants and needs and whatever, and that can lead to resentment, like we said earlier, withdrawal, bitterness, even harkening back to that medical research we talked about earlier. um, it can also lead to depression and anxiety. And, that doesn't do anyone any good at all, because that can lead to even the suicides you were talking about. Those positive things we were talking about, none of them are going to be around. Just the opposite. You're only asking for trouble that's going to make your own life miserable, and perhaps those of people around you as well. How do you see it, Tiffany?
Well, I think that every action that we do in some way, shape, or form has some kind of impact on future actions. So when we're
Yes,
setting forth a positive vibe by being in that grateful state, we're pushing that vibration forward. So when you do the opposite, it's just going to lead to worse and worse around you. So you definitely don't want
absolutely.
that. So by being that positive vibration, you're going to create this just immediate action of more actions that are all in this grateful state. And that's what we're really looking for. And what I've also noticed is that when we look at things from this state of gratitude and we're focusing on all the things we have, then in the spiritual sense, ultimately we're going to want less in the physical world. So you're going to end
Hmm,
up with this state where you want less, but you have so much more spiritually within yourself,
there
and
you
that your
go.
self-worth is so much greater than when you started. Where if you're not appreciating the people and things and blessings that are all around us, you're going to feel like you're nothing, and you're probably going to, even if you have all kinds of material items, it really doesn't mean anything to you.
Right.
So I think that you're going to have more meaning in your life if you practice gratitude than without. So those are a few of the things that I
Absolutely.
think, Joe.
It's all about focus, just like you said before, Tiffany. It's all about focus.
Yes. And Dr. Joe, do you feel that society as a whole is becoming more or less grateful?
Huh. Well, Tiffany, there there's got to be at least one question in every one of our shows in which I get to give you my favorite answer as an IT guy, and you already know what that answer is. It depends, right? No, all kidding aside, it really does depend, but okay, it really does depend. Um, okay, in some ways, I think I can get depressed thinking about, stuff like the rise of crime, the eroding of family values, the general discontent among people in society, and being in a society that largely seems to be an entitlement society. All that matters is me, 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 my, selfishness. I want my rights. Who cares about what anybody else thinks? That kind of selfishness. And and if you focus again about focus on those negatives, well, anybody could get depressed. You know, um, the lack of gratitude, civility, common courtesy, and just common decency that used to be so prevalent in years gone by. It's sad. Um, but on the other hand, I would really like to think that there are enough decent people that are still around who get the message and see just how much better life can be if if you seek to be more appreciative, you seek to be nicer and cultivating this attitude of gratitude that we've been talking about on our program today. Okay, so yeah, in the midst of all the doom and gloom, I tell you what, I am going to choose to be optimistic and hope to goodness that I can influence others to be more thankful. These sour grapes people, I mean, you pour acid on sour grapes, they only get worse. You pour honey on sour grapes, they might get better. So why not spread some of that positive stuff that you were talking about earlier and maybe stem the tide of all this negativism that seems to be so prevalent. So, and that's what I mean by it depends. Where's our focus? We focus on the negative, then we're going to keep thinking it's going to get worse and worse. If we at least take a stand against all the negativism and try to be a positive influence on those around us, exhibit these qualities of gratitude, then maybe, just maybe, at least in our own little corner, in our own little neck of the woods, perhaps we can turn it around a little bit. At least for me, that's how I see it. What about you, Tiffany?
Well, I love that you brought up the entitlement aspect of this, Dr. Joe,
Yeah.
because I think that especially with technology, it just makes things so easy that people just expect things now, where before they might have had to ask or rely on another person, that now they just rely on technology for the answer. So there's no human interaction. So they're forgetting that gratitude's even a thing altogether. And as we
Yeah.
have robotics and automation continue to get more integrated into our lives, that means less human to human connection and less opportunity to display that gratitude. It doesn't mean that you can't have gratitude. It just means that it's a little more challenging to even get to that point in communicating with others when you're dealing with technology as opposed to another person.
Right.
But on the flip side, as I look at what's happening in the world and just think back to some of the harder times in my life, it's when we really hit rock bottom that we really finally start to appreciate the things around us. And that could be true.
Mhm.
And I mean, for a lot of settings, for other people, maybe they're just born with a sense of gratitude. But sometimes it really takes going through a struggle to be able to raise yourself up and raise the vibration of others around you to really be grateful for what you have, in which case it starts this positive vibration again. And then you'll start to have more again. So, no matter what's happening, be grateful for what you have and the things around you, and things will get better. So, don't give up.
Yep.
Things are going to be great.
There you go. I couldn't agree with you more, Tiffany. Look on the
Thanks.
bright side. It's all, again, it's all, where is your focus? Choose to focus on that positive. Choose to focus on the good things. Choose to even view adversity as an opportunity. Choose to view the obstacles in your life as a way to strengthen you so you can help somebody else who's going through the same thing. Put that focus in the right direction. Tiffany, you absolutely hit the nail on the head. I agree 100%.
Thanks, Dr. Joe.
Yep.
And as we wrap things up, do you have big plans for Thanksgiving?
Well, not huge plans because we're not really going to be traveling anywhere. But as I mentioned earlier, or maybe I talked about it in the pre-show. I don't remember, but my younger son just got engaged a few months ago, and we're going to have our future daughter-in-law, our his fiance over for dinner over the Thanksgiving holidays. We've been invited to go to their house for Thanksgiving as well, and so it's we're going to share back and forth. So it may not be a very big celebration, but it's going to be sweet and it's going to be enjoyable because we'll be with the ones that we love the most.
That's excellent, Dr. Joe. And I wish that I was in Ohio so I could be around my true blood family, but they are going to have to wait till Christmas, and I'm going to have to wait till Christmas.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, I do a pretty large annual Friendsgiving out here in Las Vegas for
Oh,
everyone who isn't around their families. And I'm thinking that this year, and I do go all out on the cooking. I definitely really enjoy that. But I think I might introduce a new tradition this year where
what's
before we
that?
usually I always do a prayer, but this year I think I'm going to go around and ask everyone to do a toast to something that they're grateful for and go around the room
Cool.
so that everyone can share that. So feel free to copy that and use it at your Thanksgiving dinner to anyone watching. And with
Yeah.
that, Dr. Joe, I have to ask out of curiosity, what is your favorite Thanksgiving dish?
I was going to ask you the same thing. Ham or turkey? Yeah, right. We well, you figure if you've seen any of my videos, you could probably guess that my favorite is ham, since I am a ham, or I've been told I'm a ham. Perhaps I am a ham. Sam, I am green eggs and ham. No, I do like turkey if it's cooked right. It can be dry. You know, it's easier to mess up turkey and have it all dried out. You can't really mess up ham too badly. So we tend to gravitate more towards ham than turkey. Sometimes we've had both. Green bean casserole, pecan pie, carrots, those little carrots that are in that buttery, sugary, whatever. I can't remember what it's called, but anyway, it's carrots and it's kind of a sweet taste to it. And maybe that sweet potato casserole with the marshmallows in it, and corn on the cob. Yeah, that can make even dry turkey seem good if you put enough ranch dressing on it. But and maybe some lemonade to drink, or lemon raspberry. I love that. Or black raspberry, excuse me, my black raspberry drink that I like to drink so much. So, you know, um, I I don't know. Maybe it's too many calories. That just means I'm gonna have to do that many more crunches at the gym this weekend. But that's okay. It's worth it because it'll be good to eat good food.
Excellent. Well, one of my favorites is stuffing. I make a killer stuffing, so I'm really looking forward to
Ooh,
that. And turkey, gravy, mashed potatoes, stuffing,
yes.
green bean casserole, sweet potato casserole. They all sound amazing. And matter of fact, you're just making me hungry even thinking about it.
Yeah,
And
I'm wiping the
also
drool here.
and feel free to drop us a note in the chat and let us know what your favorite Thanksgiving dish
Yeah.
is, as well as what you're grateful for. And from us to you, we wish you a very happy Thanksgiving. And remember to be grateful for every bit of that food and everything else you've experienced this year and in all your years and all the years to come. Any final words, Dr. Joe?
Just again, thank you so much for being such an amazing co-host, and the opportunity to share this program with you and share this Thanksgiving special, and the opportunity to talk about the things that I'm grateful for. And folks, just as Tiffany said, be grateful, and I wish everyone an amazing, wonderful, happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. Stay
Bye
blessed.
bye.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Your data, video, and voice is on the move, across networks, in between data centers, to the last mile, curb, or cabinet, on premises to the cloud and back again. But is it secure? For data in motion, high-assurance network encryption offers powerful safeguards to the challenges of a rapidly transforming threatscape. SafeNet high-speed encryptors are scalable, interoperable, easy to use, cost-effective, and provide maximum security without compromising performance. And they are the first encryptors to offer transport-independent mode, which means the best performing encryption, regardless of the network layer. SafeNet high-speed encryptors deliver certified network encryption capabilities, providing uncompromising security with maximum throughput and minimal latency. Future-proof and crypto-agile, they support custom curves, bring your own entropy, and built-in quantum random number generation. The SafeNet Virtual Encryptor, a hardened virtualized network function, provides network encryption to ensure all data in motion is secure. It addresses customer requirements for reducing their hardware footprint, and it's integrated with SafeNet Key Secure for enhanced key lifecycle management. When your customers, partners, and employees demand security in an ever-changing environment, ensure that your data in motion is secure with SafeNet high-speed encryptors.